Hey everybody, welcome to American English Online. I'm Christopher, your American English teacher on YouTube. And today, we're going to do things a little different. We're going to go outside and talk about what we can see on the street. Come on. So we're on the street. As we walk down the street, we can walk on the sidewalk or in the middle of the street. But we don't want to do that. Come on, let's keep going. Right now, we're on the same block as the school, and we're standing on the corner. Let's cross the street. When you walk down the street, you can see lots of different things. You can see trees, you can see businesses. Something interesting is that here in Brazil, the telephone posts have all the electrical wiring above ground. In lots of places in the United States, it's underground. Sometimes you can see construction happening, someone remodeling or renovating their home. And sometimes they put dumpsters in the street. Walking down the street in this neighborhood, you can see some clinics and lots of cars and people driving around to and from work. This is a mixed zoning area. So the zoning laws here allow homes and businesses. Here you see where people put their garbage, and there are also some empty places. That's a bus stop. As we're walking down the street, we can see a Catholic seminary, and not sure if they're Franciscan or what, but I know that they're Catholic. Walking around the neighborhood, we've come to a busy street. So this is actually an avenue. They call it Independence Avenue. And it's a really big intersection. And you can see here we have a Japanese restaurant, very, very good. And kitty corner is a gas station, which is now closed. Kitty corner is diagonally across the intersection. And here, there was a car dealership that's now closed. So on the main streets and main avenues, you can see bigger businesses, not just small clothing stores and clinics. A little further up the street, you have a supermarket, and you can see that most intersections here have a traffic light. The traffic light is green for go, yellow for caution, and red to stop. One of people's favorite places to eat is what we call a hamburger joint. So we don't really say hamburger restaurants. We say hamburger joint. We've come to a pharmacy, but in the United States, it's more commonly called a drugstore. And if we go across the crosswalk, we can get to the supermarket. Lots of businesses on the main avenue. Here we have a pretty popular clothing brand. So it's a regular clothing retailer. And next door to the clothing store is a coffee shop. It's not very healthy, but sometimes you need something quick. So we order fast food. Over here, we have a place that is perfect for everything that your pet needs. It's a pet store. This big building behind me is a bank. We have many banks here, just like in the United States. And another thing that you see walking down the street are street signs. Some of them say stop, and some of them show that a street is one way. Remember, I told you about this neighborhood. It has mixed zoning. So on one side of the street, we have a house, and it's across from a Japanese restaurant. The Japanese restaurant is beside a clinic. So there are many different kinds of places in this neighborhood. And this clinic is between a parking lot and the restaurant. Another thing that I like a lot about this neighborhood is a small shop that's across the street. It's a glass blowing shop. And what they do is they blow glass into different shapes, sometimes into bowls or plates or just decorative ornaments. And finally, across the street, there's a pizza place. So remember, we have a hamburger joint, but a pizza place. And the rest, like Japanese restaurants or Italian restaurants, we just call restaurants. So we're crossing the street and we're coming into a kind of park. We have lots of different kinds of trees and plants. There are benches where you can sit down and rest a little bit. And if you're lucky, these kinds of parks will have some name tags that tell you what kind of trees they are. So you can see there are benches all around, and it's got a lot of shade, and the ground is Portuguese stone. I suppose that's what it's called. That's a direct translation. I hope it's the right name. But this kind of stone used to be very popular here in Brazil. Now they use it a lot less, but it's really kind of reminiscent of my childhood. This tree here is really old. See how big it is? But you notice that there are some round kind of fruits. It's not edible, but they're a kind of gourd, I guess you could call them. But they're interesting because they fall from the tree and they leave these husks. That's called a husk. So we're going to end the video here. I wanted to show you a little bit of this neighborhood and some of the things that you can see on the street. Some of the vocabulary, streets, intersections, avenues, traffic lights, things like that. And I hope that you can use this in your conversations and when you're talking about the places where you go every day and where you're from. Okay, so I hope the vocabulary helped. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and as always, let's practice.